we are going to be talking to Archana Dabhoiwala, who's a mother of two lovely boys, and she's going to share with us about gluten-free and caesin-free and her experiences about how she's following the program and how it has helped her. As a mother, she's just going to share. It's not a professional advice. It's just a raw discussion, very honest, general discussion, which I feel will help all of you who are listening. Hello, Archana.
Hello, Reena. After so long, hi.
So nice to see you. Archana, would you like to tell people about Rohan a little bit so they get an idea? And why did you start the gluten-free, caesin-free diet for Rohan?
Okay. So, Rohan is a younger son who was diagnosed with autism in actually the way he got diagnosed was around 2007 August. He started getting these vomiting episodes. He would get an episode every month, and so first he would start with some mouth movements, well, like he's chewing something, and then he would vomit, and then he would pass out. So this happened in August, it happened in October, so it happened about 3 times till Jan, and then the doctor suspected it's something known as cyclical vomiting. And he said the next time this episode happens, just record it. So I recorded the next episode and I showed it to my GP, to his pediatrician, and he said, I think this looks like seizures, but let's be sure and go to a neurologist. And when we went for that checkup, Rohan also was very, like, for no reason, he was a little affectionate to the assistant of the doctor. He hugged her, and he had very little language at that time. So the doctor again, like, alerted me and said, his behaviors, maybe you need to, like, just look into what it is. And I said, like, what is it that you're suspecting? So what if he hugged your assistant? That's a loving child. So he said, no, there was no need for him to hug. Not that the assistant gave him any chocolate or anything. So why was that? And he doesn't have enough language for this age. He was around 3 at that, little less than 3. So he gave me the number of Umeed and said, please go. I said, what are you suspecting? And he said, autism. So it was a double whammy for us. We got diagnosed with epilepsy and autism in 2008. I don't know which came first, what happened, but what happened first actually was his vomiting. And then he had as a child at 13 months, he had a seizure already, which was with fever. So the febrile seizure, nothing after that. The next one started with this vomiting. And then after he got diagnosed, we started with meds. And the meds were not doing anything for him. He was getting about 100 seizures a year. So that's about every third day he would get a seizure. And you can imagine when he's first of all diagnosed with autism, how intensive the therapy. I used to come to you. You were his first therapist. So every time we worked with him, and if he got a seizure, what happened was concepts were forgotten. He forgot skills, motor skills. I remember we were doing a session with Chatali at that time, and he had to climb the ladder, and he had just done it like 2 days back. Then he got the seizure, and then when he went back for therapy, he had forgotten how to do it. So each seizure brought, it seemed like he was losing skills with every seizure. So it was taking 1 step forward and 3 behind. So we were really, really desperate to do something. We heard a lot about the GFCF diet, how it helps kids with autism. So half-heartedly we tried here and there. This child at that time, please note that he was addicted to McDonald's burgers. So his diet was like McDonald's burgers every weekend. He would eat dahi at least 3 bowls a day. He was having rava. We Parsis make something known as ravo. So that's rava and milk put together. That means gluten and dairy together. That was his breakfast at least 4 times a week. He used to have cheese sandwiches. He used to have butter toast. So this was his diet. And to take away so many things, for a child who's already going through so much. So little bit of, yes, pity was there. Like, Bichara is already suffering with seizures. How can we take these food that mean Rohan is a foodie till date. So he was really into food, and he would crave for rava.
So what age did you start this? As in, after how many years after the diagnosis?
So 2008 was the official diagnosis. Around 2012, we said, okay, let's start. Let's see. But it was very half-hearted. We didn't see any results, nothing. Now we were at a stage where like.
So I want to interrupt here because there are a lot of parents. I mean, we are not talking professionally here, but there are a lot of parents who say we do GFCF part of it. You know, we do it like 5 days a week and 2 days we don't do.
No, no, no,
So
no, no.
what? Yeah, I would like you to share
So
your experience.
gluten takes a long time to leave your system. So if you're just doing it on a weekly basis and then getting your child to eat the gluten again on the weekend, you will never see the benefit. Dairy leaves your body faster. So if you are dairy free for a week, you may start seeing some changes. But gluten takes there's various varying things. I'm again as a parent just talking. Some say 3 months, some say 6 months to actually leave your system. So if you're doing on a weekly basis, it's not going to work. You won't see the benefits. So that's what we were doing. These half-hearted things. You know, come on now, it's a weekend. Like one burger won't hurt. But so we didn't see anything when you do half-hearted. We didn't see any sort of results or any respite in either the seizures or the thing.
And how long did you do this? Meaning, tried GFCF, but not completely. How long did you do it for?
We were like shuttling, like I think like between 2011 and 12, we tried to do this half-hearted thing. And 13, when things really got to head, he was getting clusters of seizures. And, it's something that no parent should really go through. And I think the reason we dove right into the GFCF is because, please note that I may sound a little crazy at this time, but because we were so desperate for some respite, like we didn't know what to give more importance to, the seizures or the therapies. So, we said, okay, health is really more important. Like, let everything else take a thing. We have gone to like healers, energy workers. We've gone to one lady in Valsad who literally has taken a broom and, dusted his shoulder to like take away all the evil. So epilepsy, we had reached a point where we really needed to sort it. Like a child to get 4 or 5 seizures clusters in a day, and like every third day was too much. And then our energy worker told us, and we have big faith in her. She said, we said, okay, everybody's talking about diet. She's saying, yes, try the diet. And scientifically speaking, also, a lot of our neurotransmitters are in our gut, right, Reena? I mean, you've done the thing. So it sort of made sense, okay, let's try it. And 2014, around like 2013 and 2014 is when we went strictly, and we went cold turkey. Because there is no way of saying first we'll take away this, then if we're doing it, we just decided 2014 we started it. And
then you met did you get what are those allergy tests done, the food sensitivity tests done?
No, I didn't do it, all of it. I wanted to, because I know that what if it said, okay, that he's not allergic to it or anything, but I somehow had this thing. For me, it was more a fight with Sarosh and me to do this diet, because Sarosh said, okay, you want to take away, but give me a substitute. Now, at in 2012 and 13, there were not many substitutes like you have to take today. Every home baker, every shop, every restaurant you go, you have a gluten-free and a dairy-free option. You have vegan options. It was then. So for me to do this with Sarosh, I said, okay, I'll take away the burger, but here, it's a gluten-free bun. I couldn't do it at that time. So hence, because I have very strong intuition that this child needs to get off all these milk and dairy products. For me, the milk was, I'll tell you why the milk is more for him. So when we even got the validation from this energy worker, said like, you do the diet. We did. And around the same time also, some of his meds, like he's on anti-epilepsy drugs till today. But we sort of streamlined the dosage. Okay. Gave him every 8 hourly equal doses. So that and the diet started at the same time. But I tend to go more with the diet, and Sarosh feels so now is ever since we did that, it was like within 3 months, 4 months, the seizure that he was getting every third day became every 15 days, became every month. So we started seeing these little changes. And touch wood, every wood around here since 2015, he is seizure free. So that's like a big, big thing for us. So it was very difficult in the beginning because Rohan is eating dahi 3 times a day. How do I take away dahi? So I went for many classes and they showed me how to make dahi with peanuts and it didn't succeed for me. It didn't happen. plus the taste of dahi is different. So now after many years of experience, I know how to sort of work things around. You have so many options available now, that it's just become a way of life. In fact, even I am gluten free because I saw changes in my body too after getting off gluten. In between, in around 2000, so 14 we started. So around 16, 17, what happened was, around that time he had a bad stomach infection. So everybody says dahi is great, right? It's a good probiotic. So I started giving him dahi rice. And he also got so used to it that once a day he was getting dahi rice. Now, suddenly I realized that he couldn't remember to call me mama, like my name mama. He couldn't say mama, give me this. He forgot how to address me. And then when we went back and spoke to a nutritionist, she said, okay, what have you done different? And I realized, shit, I started giving him dahi rice. And then she's saying, oh, so I thought probiotic, like a dahi would be an okay thing to give him. But even that much he couldn't handle, his stomach couldn't handle it. So I think Rohan is more allergic to casein than he is to gluten. But we've just kept both off, and he doesn't crave the things anymore that he used to really crave. He used to crave for that rava.
But then how did you manage? I mean, is it so, I mean, you said you just started, but then was it not difficult? Yeah, like how? What did you give in place of, you said rava in the morning, then what did you replace?
Yeah, so then at that time there was some other rava that we were getting, jowar rava. Okay, so the thing is, once you start the GFCF diet, you have to develop a taste for it, and that takes a little time. So to give him a little bit of that, he didn't like it, and I gave him like fruits instead, or I don't know. At that time, I found some other thing. It was not a replacement for the rava. I had to think of other things to give him. So dosa, right? Dosa. If you see an Indian diet, it's completely gluten free. There's dosa. You make the besan chilra. There were other options to give him. So I started introducing that slowly to him, and it was he also took to it. It was a bit of a struggle in the beginning, but you have to hold your ground and see it through, because for us that was really important. His seizures were the bigger demon for us than the autism.
So what about evening snacks? I mean, and how do you know that you're taking the right, as in when you're buying it, how do you ascertain that, yeah, this is actually gluten free? Because nowadays you get it on Amazon, and most parents are asking me, how do we know that it's really gluten free?
Okay. Yeah, so that, because there are many, if you see the gluten free, even the labels behind, there are a lot of additives that actually contain gluten. So I generally get my things from like home bakers and sources who I know are genuinely gluten free. Happy to share them with you on a private which you can share with your people. I go to home bakers, I go to cafes that are like, you go to farmers market, you go to the farmers market, there's another Sharan. There are many organizations now that are genuinely doing this, because veganism is up in a big way. There are many restaurants that have it, but I buy less of the package. Like my almond milk is made at home. I don't buy the ready almond milk, because almond milk you make at home, you can't keep it more than 2 days. So how are they keeping it fresh in the carton? I don't know. So I make the almond milk at home. You get your different flour. I don't buy the ready GF flour, because I don't know what else is gone in it to make it more what do you call, plastic or stretchy. So I buy the different flours and make my own concoction at home. Then what else? I mean, you have a lot of now, so many people don't even use eggs. They use flaxseed eggs. So there are a lot of options. You have to.
And what about people who are not based in Mumbai or in big cities, and they still want to follow? So is there some place that they can all go to, or is there some association, or is there some group?
Yes, so there is Sharan. There is Sharan. There is the Health Awareness Center in Bombay. They have their websites. I think Insta is full of recipes and sources. I recently just got into Insta only for that, to figure that out. In fact, Rohan's sweet tooth is also taken care of. Of course, we give him not as much. I try to make it at home, but it was so cumbersome, and I know sources here who make it, and I know they're genuine. So there are lots of options, yeah, and you can get as creative as you want with the gluten-free and the dairy-free diet. It's not as difficult as it used to be. In fact, so many people for no allergies, nothing, are turning, right. They are going vegan and they are going gluten-free. So it's easy. Once you just decide you want to do it, you'll have many options.
Okay.
So there's zero G. I use the zero G porridge mix. There are many brands that are available who will ship it to anywhere. There's Taru. She makes. They have a nice pancake mix, which is all gluten free, made with millets and buckwheat and all of that. So they ship it everywhere. Yeah? Even now with the courier service and all, I don't think the distance matters. You can get.
And what about some parents who ask me that if we are giving GFCF, what are the kind of dry snacks that my child can have in the evenings?
South Indian snacks are full of it. No, you have your rice chakli. You have there's a lady. Rohan has khakra. Now I found somebody who's making that Nutella, but Nutella had milk in it and milk solids in it. Now you get there are different brands. He has almond butter a lot. So on the khakra, I spread almond butter. There's sukha bel. What else? What does he eat? He eats fruits. He eats a lot of fruits. He eats ragi as an evening porridge with almond milk. So there are enough and more options actually available. All your you get jawar puffs. You get a lot. You get these little bar and this crisp like chips.
Okay. Basically, if a parent wants to go, there are a lot of options, and it is not very difficult.
You need to just sit down one evening, get your sauce, plan your menu or the meal, and I think it's possible. Once you decide, it depends on how much you want it. Tons and tons of options.
And what about sugar? Do you give sugar to him? Some people ask, how about jaggery? Is jaggery okay? Is sugar okay? Can we add that up?
Yeah. So all kinds of brown sugar or your date syrup, jaggery, kharik powder, all of it ultimately adds up as sugar. So it depends on how much are you giving it. So for Rohan, he has very small cupcake I get, which I cut into half, and that's what's given to him maybe on the weekend. So there's again, people make ice cream with just maple syrup and the fruit. But again, maple syrup is again the sugar gone in. So it just depends. It's less processed, but it ultimately is sugar after all in the end. So it just get the quantity a little less and just keep it as a treat or a dessert on the weekend or something. It's you would eat. Like I know, like people who are conscious about the health don't really eat that much sugar, right? So then just keep it in that small proportion and use it as treats or.
And how about honey?
Honey also is sugar, no? In the end. So
yeah. Because mainly parents ask is, what about I won't give sugar, but I'll give dates, I would give honey,
Lesser evil, but it still is an evil, and that matters also. Even processed foods for that matter. Anything out of a packet, like really, when I have guests coming over, I don't know what to offer them. If they come in impromptu, they land up. I don't know what to offer them because all I have is Rajgira khakra or that methi and bajra ka little crisp, and I can't always give them that. So I really I have nothing from a packet except that OG porridge. Otherwise, everything is like freshly made. It's a matter of a lifestyle, Reena. It's a lifestyle change. You have to sort of believe in it and know that and you follow it yourself because you'll find
Exactly. That's what I was coming to, because what kids do is they, I remember one child used to say, I want to eat your roti. He used to tell his mom that, because his mom was eating, dad was eating, and he was the only one eating a different roti, So
we have gone from having hard rotis, then, when Saroj would say, like, what are you feeding us? But now as you go on reading, like now I add 3 then I add some flaxseed powder. You add something else to make it more soft, and then you reach a proper balance. So it's a matter of experimenting It's the matter of getting into the kitchen and doing it yourself and eating it yourself also. And you'll thank yourself for like, okay, good, I did this, because I feel lighter. I don't have dairy anymore. So Rohan and I almost have the same food. And the thing is, once you remove this off, there's they crave those foods, the wrong foods also less. Like the way Rohan used to crave a burger. And that's another sign. If your child is really craving for something, they say maybe that's what he's allergic
Yes.
to. Try taking that away. Also, for new parents who are starting, try getting the dairy out first, because if dairy is leaving your system in 1 week, and if you're seeing okay that this is slightly better. Another thing, sorry to talk dirty, but Rohan's poops, my God, it was horrible. He used to be constipated, like he was in pain and agony. Once we did the diet, slowly and steadily, everything got sorted. So it works great on the system, and it's a matter of experimenting. Like I said, now we have soft rotis, which Rohan likes. So I found a lady who does cashew cheese. So we make our own sort of dressing at home with cashew. There are so many resources online that you don't really buy something from out. If you buy your basic flours, you make your own thing. You make a cashew sort of dressing.
So Archana, what about ghee? What about oil?
Ghee. I know that vegans don't really have, but see, I'm not a vegan. My son Rohan does have eggs. Now, ghee, they say, loses the casein in the whole process of making it. So Rohan has ghee. He has all our food is made in coconut oil.
Okay.
So it's a matter of getting used to that taste. And actually, if you see, there's no coconut oil at all. It's a matter of it's easy. If you want to get it done, you will get it done.
And it's been how many years now that you are
From
following?
2014 to now. Yeah,
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
Wow. And
so now, after this, so like there was a event for somebody's birthday of Sarosh's 50th. Like I did give him that piece of cake. So I don't
exactly, that's what I was coming to, because if you go for social outings, do you carry your food along, and how do you keep then?
Because Reena, our social outings, tell me which restaurant will not give you a dal, rice, and a vegetable. Yes, pizza, don't always get a gluten-free base everywhere. But there was a time when I used to carry his cheese. Earlier, I used to call for cheese from, like, when my friends were traveling, they would get me cheese. But now everywhere here you get cheese. At your regular, if you see my regular banya has dairy cheese. But I use very little of that because it has, when you read the label, it doesn't sound so good. It has a lot of additives. So earlier I used to carry the cheese around, but now after so many years of doing it, I am a little less sort of strict about it. So I don't like to mess with the dairy part of it because I know that's what he's more allergic to. I am okay with him having, say, like a pizza, meaning a slice. But the thing is, he himself, now at home, I give him a choice. Rohan, do you want this or that? And he's not having the gluten stuff. He has a sweet tooth, so he does get tempted with an outside cake. But then we make it a point that whenever there's a birthday in the house, his pastry is also there, something he can eat. And once we give him that, he really doesn't even go for the other stuff.
You make it sound so easy, because when I talk to parents and they're like, we met a nutritionist, they've given us a plan, but it is not a practical one. And I mean, see, you're giving options, but imagine for a mother, I mean, you're always in the kitchen. I mean, at the end of it, they're like, is that all what my life is about? Taking kid to therapies and being in the kitchen and just feeding the child, it's too much. That's what they say. So what do you feel about that?
So in the beginning, it was difficult. In the beginning, we had many failures. Okay. So that's why it took us like almost a year to sort of say, okay, now we are strictly gluten, because Rohan would run away from us and eat the biscuit that everybody else had. So it is difficult in the beginning. You oh my God, we were clean for a month and now Rohan, like your child has gone and eaten somebody's biscuit or whatever, because you can't take away. We live like ours is a very big family. We have 10 people living in our home. So the other kids had their kids. I couldn't tell everybody to hide away their stuff. So the days where he's gone and eaten, and it is going to be forward, backward, forward, backward. But once you get on that track now, then there is no look. So why you would be in the kitchen? What is the thing? There are all your pulses you can eat. You can eat the grains. You can eat all your vegetables. In junk, people are making pizza bases out of cauliflower, and you don't even need to make it. There are people who will make it and give it to you. So everything that you like, everything as a replacement. There's somebody who makes jawar puris, yeah, for pani puri. So is available as gluten free. So it's a matter of just deciding and doing it. Really, it's just that you get gluten free pav to have pav bhaji with. So there is, yes, going out will you can look at places that also give you that option, and there are many cafes and restaurants now that offer you that. So you may feel a little, but you have to always weigh, na? You always have to weigh as to what you're getting and what you're missing. So what is more important? For us, we could do anything. Like I told you, we went to like all sorts of gurus to get away with it. So if this is all what that was required, I would have done in 2008. And today, Reena Sarosh says that if we only knew the diet, because he feels we've poisoned him from 2008 to 12. Like we could have seen results earlier. So that is the belief that we have in the diet.
So how long? I mean, if once you start GFCF, is it a lifelong decision now? Would that be your lifestyle? How would it be?
I'll tell you frankly, I didn't see much change in his hyperactivity. Okay, like some people say that if you take away gluten, it takes care of your hyperactive kid. So I didn't see that. I saw definitely his gut. I saw that his gut healed. His motions were clear. I didn't have accidents. He seemed more in himself. He was still, he was still all over the place. He still is not all over the place. He is settled, but he is still, you would say, an active child. The main thing for us was the seizure. So that was like the biggest thing for us.
So if
now, like I told you, now we do give in. Okay, chal, let him have this. It's not every day. It's maybe a special occasion, and I don't know how long. I just feel it's a healthier way of living. If you everywhere, all the health gurus are prescribing you to not have. They're telling you to not have gluten, right? So then why not continue till we?
So I wanted to ask you one more thing, Archana. What do you feel? Epilepsy, it has helped him, but what about autism and the diet? What do you think? Has that helped? Not helped? Rohan. I mean, generally we don't know, but Rohan.
So for Rohan, I told you his gut, his poop. That was a big fight. That was a big fight for us. He was in agony. So if you have a child who is so unsettled in his stomach, how is he going to, like, imagine if I was constipated for like days, I had a heart, I would not be able to function, right? So then that's what eased out for him. I think he was more sort of, I don't know, like in his body. I felt like if your systems are working well, you're going to be more at peace, right? It hasn't taken away, like people say, the hyperactivity, like they say that kids who are allergic to gluten they are like as if they're on drugs. So I didn't see that change. Not that he is on, meaning not that he acted like that, but he was a hyper child. I didn't see any difference in the hyperactivity.
They say that the fogginess that you get, the lost kind of a thing reduces quite a bit with GFCF.
For Rohan, I didn't have that. He didn't have the brain fog, but he was just a happier child. He became a happier child after his stomach sort of sorted. And yeah, I don't know. For me, that was such a big part of life, the seizures, because so you finish that, once you've sorted that, then it was regular. His therapies are happening, everything is going on smoothly. So you start seeing changes.
Got it. I think it was really, really helpful, Archana, talking to you, because when I listen to the word GFCF or anybody listens, they were like, oh my God, GFCF, oh no, my child has to go through this, and there is a lot of pity. Oh God, I can eat, my child can't eat. Oh my God, like everyone else is eating. Oh, the cake, oh, the birthday parties, oh this, oh that. And as you said, yes, we need to understand what is is it benefiting more, and like we need to know
What are you
the
losing versus what you're gaining? Yeah.
exactly, and that's what the main thing is. So thank you so much for talking to us, and I'm sure it's
Thank
going to help
you.
a lot of people. Thank you, Archana.
Okay. Thank you.